Welcome to part 2 of HTML, CSS, Let's Code a Portfolio Website. Maybe you watched part 1, maybe you're proficient in HTML and CSS and you're just tuning in for part 2. Either way, let's get into this. I have my bird Ferdinand, he's kind of hiding on my shoulder. He will be with us. You will not see his presence because I will just do a screen recording, but know that he's here. You might hear some squawking, some nice chirping actually. So that's what you're hearing. It is not nature sound effects. I don't know, do people do that? Okay, let's jump into this. We are actually going to we're going to look through what a potential client brief might look like. We're going to build someone else's portfolio website. We're going to have pictures of me, so let's just call it my portfolio website. And we're using HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap. In this video, we will just be kind of getting like the base in HTML and CSS. We'll do that. And then maybe moving forward, we'll incorporate Bootstrap. All right, let's jump in. See ya. Okay, once again, this is what we will be building. This is a basic portfolio website. So these are, we can imagine, our projects. So we have 9 of them. I like the idea of having them for this design be all square. So that's why I used this previous project I did. So it's really one project, but we can imagine them being like separate projects. And then right now you can't click in, but I think for our website, for our purposes, maybe we'll have a hover effect and you can click in and we'll design a page that could belong to each of these projects. And then there's an about page. And we can also see this is a responsive website. So we can kind of play with that because that doesn't look good, but then it drops underneath. So that's great. So on mobile, it would look much better. And there's a contact me page for emails, and we'll show how to link that. It also drops underneath. There's a logo that links back to the home page. And then I think these should drop nicely. Yeah. So there we go. Great. So let's jump into it. Using Visual Studio Code, that's my code editor of choice. You can go to code.visualstudio.com. I'll also link it in the notes. And you can download it for Mac, let's see, also for Windows and Linux. Great. And yeah, I like it. It has a lot of great built-in features. I use it often. Okay, so I like making like new folders just on my desktop and dragging them into Visual Studio Code. So let's call this portfolio project. I'm gonna drag this into Visual Studio Code and we're up and running. Okay, so I learned from last video, I am going to zoom in more. I think I didn't get any comments yet. It's very recent, but I just know when I watch videos, I like when people zoom in. So just to start off, before we zoom in, I'm just gonna create an index.html. That'll be our home, and you always start with an index.html. That's just the way the web works. And then we're going to make our styles.css, again, another naming convention. And then let's make our other pages. So we know we're going to have an about page. So just, you can name them whatever you would like. This actually, you do want to name it a proper name because this is what, if you go to this website, maybe it's like my name, like clairephilippak.com, then it'll go /about here. And then we also want a contact page.html, great. And then maybe let's make another file. This is gonna be our first project page. Let's just call it project1.html. Yeah, project 1. Yeah, let's do it this way. Yeah. .html. Great. Zoomed in this time. Yay. All right, so let's start this document off. Again, Visual Studio Code has some great shortcuts, so I just did exclamation point, and then it's going to come in, everything we need. And I talked about this in part 1 if you want to learn more. So this is a portfolio website, so let's give it a title. And we'll save it, Command S. Okay. And then we're going to link the style sheets. Sometimes I forget just how to link it. Now I know, it's just rel style sheet. So there are a lot of great resources out there. I went to W3 Schools. I'll also link that below. Just awesome stuff. Just like a great tutorials on everything from HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and moving on. Cool. So right below our title, we're in our head, we're going to put the style sheets. And since in the same folder, we're going to do /. Okay. And then moving forward, I know I'm also, oops, not file. I'm going to have an image folder. We're going to drop all of our images for our portfolio website. Cool. So let's look at our portfolio website again. Ooh, okay. I actually said I would look at the brief. So before we move on, let's cover that. Client brief. I'm a designer. I need a portfolio website to display my work. I would like a project section and an about me page. I provided project images. And we're also, of course, going to have our introduction to Bootstrap grid styling coming up. So this is kind of what you'd get from a client. Probably more detailed, but who knows, in an email. And then you might need to ask for more information, like, do you have a logo? Am I going to be making that? Am I branding this website? So definitely get what you need. And let's move on. Thinking about this, let's actually open up the image folder so we can think about these images that our client gave to us. So this is for the about page. These are like thumbnails for like placeholders for the projects, the email image, and the logo. And I actually got the logo from the noun project, and I'll show you that in a second. So let's just drop them in the image folder. And as you can see, they all popped in. Look at them. Let's close out. Okay, let's close that folder for now. And then, okay, so this is the noun project. So say I really want a home icon. I can Google home or search it on the noun project. And then if I like this, I can get this icon, and I'd have to log in and all that. But you can actually, if you're using it just for your own use, you can just get it for free. But if you're using it for like a project that's going live, definitely give credit if you're getting it for free, or you know, get a subscription. People are making these. That's kind of the nice thing to do. Cool. All right, back to our code. Okay. Let's pull up the portfolio website, and as you can see, right at the top, we have our navigation. Okay, so for our navigation, we're actually going to do an unordered list, and then do LIs below, and I talk about that in video 1 if you want to check that out. All right. So we're going to start with our container div. So I'm going to give this a class container. Great. And then let's make a div. And we'll call that nav. This is actually going to come in with Bootstrap styling. But yeah, I think we'll just call it nav for now. I think that works with Bootstrap. And then let's make our unordered list. So the first LI is going to house our icon. So I'll just write that there for now, and then we'll put the image in. Then our next LI is going to house our about page. If I was just doing this, I could leave it on the same line, but I know that I'm going to be adding an A tag in. So this works for now. And then another LI, and this is contact me. Cool. So let's start with our icon. So we know that this is going to be an image, and we're closing that out. The source, we're going to go into the image folder, and then this is the logo. Great. And then our alt tag, just going to be a logo. Save that. And now let's start putting in our links. So, boom. And this, since it's just linking to our home, there's do a hashtag. And let's think our about. Could have done some copy and pasting here. This is fine. And then href. And then this is going to go to our about HTML, right? So we're going to go / and then first thing, there we go. Another A tag. And then this is going to contact. Beautiful. Okay, let's check out, if I remember correctly, where portfolio project. Okay. I'm going to open this, our browser. I don't want the image folder anymore. Here we go. So we're going to pull up our index, and that's what we have so far. So you can see they're all bulleted because this is an unordered list. Our styling hasn't come in yet, but first let's just get that foundation down. So let's look back at our portfolio website. So now it looks like there's a title. So we just copy that from there. So it's welcome to my portfolio website. Very simple. So let's break out of this nav div. So you can see it closes there. And then let's do H3. Actually, just for the sake of organization, let's do a div. And within there, let's have our H3. Paste that in. And then let's give it a class title. So that is our website title. And let's look back. Is that title on every page? Cool. So we know whenever we style this, we're just going to always use the class name title. So it is simple. It's definitely a simple website, but I think this is a great starter website. And then, as you can see, we have our projects below. So let's give this the class name projects. So this is kind of our container for our projects. I know when we do Bootstrap, and I'll definitely give a tutorial on this, we are going to want a div of row because as you can see, they're all ordered in a list, right? Or not a list, in a grid. It's 3 by 3. And yeah, we can control this, and I'll get into this more specifically, but we could have made it, I mean, it's 9, so this kind of works, but say it was like 12 or 8, maybe like 4 by 2. And as you could see, it also, when we go to medium, we could even make it so that it goes to 2. They just kind of get smaller here, and then it goes to 1. So we can control all of that, which is great and why I like Bootstrap. All right, so we have our projects, and then within here, we're going to have our columns. Okay, so let's see. Or just we're going to have one column, and then it'll control that. Yeah, pretty sure. If not, we'll adjust this. Let's just drag all our images in. Or okay, I'm going to think about this. Okay, so we want a row. Yeah, actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to call this column, and let's get our first image there. src./image, then we're going to want to go to daily things 1, and then alt. Gets a little tedious, but it's important. Alts are important because if someone's reading on the screen or it doesn't fully load in, then people know what's going on. So that's one column. Yeah, within our row, because we have right now 3 rows and 3 columns, this makes the most sense. And then, boom, I know these are all changed. Great. And we're just going to repeat this. Actually, projects, and then a row. So we have 3 rows. For the sake of this, let's give this class of row. And I'll change the columns. It'll be a little tedious, but maybe I'll fast forward through it. Okay. Cool. So in this row, we have 4. So this is why naming conventions are also helpful. Because otherwise I'd be like, you'd have to find every single one. Again, yeah, if these were like all different projects and it helped me organize it, not the biggest deal. For efficiency's sake, helpful. Okay, cute. We found it, and 9. I think that's all that's going on here because we don't have a footer right now. Footers are nice, just like headers. A lot of websites, and especially if this was like a corporate website, we would want that. All right, let's save this. Oh, it is saved. Okay, so let's refresh and see what's going on. So as you can see, they're all just huge files. Again, for your website, for the sake of efficiency, definitely work with smaller files. For the sake of this, I did not resize them. Yeah, I'll try to look maybe in the next episode as to what kind of size files, because otherwise it could take a while to load. It's already cached here, so I think that's why, but say I removed my cache, it might take a little while to load all of these files in. All right, I think that's great for part 1. So we really just established our HTML, got the layout. Let's jump into Bootstrap in this is part 2, in part 3. All right, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, see you in the next part.